Hello and welcome to Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast with your host, Buddy Sotelo Esquire. And this show is one of my favorite shows for the entire year. I look forward to it for a whole year long, and that's because we have my lovely, lovely guest, Jeanne Basone, also known as Hollywood from Glow, and you know, you're making a name for yourself outside of Glow now. You've become your own celebrity. You're not just Hollywood anymore.
Right.
And
Thank you.
You look fantastic, and that's your whole vampire outfit.
That's minus my teeth. I was doing an interview before this interview, and I'm like, I can't do the teeth. I thought I would at least kind of, play the part because Halloween is coming.
And I love
Halloween.
I love how much you love Halloween. It's you are what makes the spirit of Halloween fun. I mean, now I know you don't have kids, but with my kids, for me, it's all about trick or treating. But but I like as much to put on my wrestling mask, my wrestling belt, my anything that I used to wear in the ring, and bring it forwards, and I've always loved to dress up in costume and everything like that, and I know you love that part too. Now, I have a whole bunch of different questions for you, and I know you don't have a ton of time. I'm a little short this show because you've got a lot of commitments. And I appreciate that. So it's great for you to be here. But I do want to know, what is a costume that you used to wear as a kid?
So I wrote down some things, if you don't mind. That's what I'm looking at.
Please.
As a kid, when I was a kid, Kiss, wearing the makeup like the Kiss guys was one. One Halloween, I dressed up at this 1800s. It wasn't a saloon girl because I was so young, but it was one of those dresses that were kind of tight here and long, and people who were like, what are you supposed to be? They didn't know what I was. I knew what I was supposed to be, but they didn't know what I was
what were you? What was a barmaid? Or
I called myself an 1800 saloon girl without showing the skin.
Oh, very good.
I would look more like the madam. The madam was dressed always a little bit more conservative then.
Nice.
I was going to call them the sluts, but
yeah,
I didn't know that word when I. So yeah, and then also I was a bum. Don't ask me why I wanted to be a hobo, but I wanted to be a hobo, and I'm like, how do I get? This is because I played with the boys. Okay, tomboy. This is what happens. So we burnt like the charcoal, the cork from wine bottle.
I remember that.
And we put that was, and it was so dark. And then my favorite one, the favorite one was Cinderella costume. And it had this certain smell. And remember, those masks were made of this weird plasticky, but it had a smell in the costume.
Yes, I'm totally recalling that right now. Recalling that right now.
Yeah. So yes, it was Cinderella. That was my favorite one.
It was that smell, and then you'd have your face sweat that would come because you'd be wearing it, and after about a block, you would just your face would be sweating all over. And that's why you
can't breathe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you pull it up, and it had that little rubber band
with the little pieces of metal that
with the metal attached to the side.
Yes. Yes, gosh, we did have that in common. Absolutely.
Yes, we did. So yes, Cinderella.
I had one of those with Spider-Man.
Of course, all the boys had Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, I was Dracula a couple times, but as I told you, as I've gotten older and as I've gotten hairier, I associate more with werewolves.
Oh yeah, the werewolf's good.
Yes,
that's a good one.
But otherwise, I've been the heavyweight champion. Whenever I could, I was always a wrestler. And for a number of years, I did the Road Warriors paint job.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun to have for a while.
Could you do it really good? I mean,
yes. Yeah, I would sit there and I'd really get the. I was always I always used the animal Animal.
Yeah, I have a photo with him as well.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's now a collector's item,
I
unfortunately.
know it is. I gotta even think of that actually, really, until you said it.
I know so many people that we've lost, including myself this year. A close friend of ours, Tony Jones, who was a ring competitor, died at age 55. So it just
Too young. I'm
been
sorry.
way too young, and it's just been a rough year overall. So I'm glad that that's another part that's great about Halloween is that you're kind of like, you know what, you survived the year, you've made it to the holidays, you know.
Yes.
And hopefully nothing bad's going to happen to us going forwards.
Knock on wood, we're good.
So we've asked you before what your favorite Halloween candy is, but what is your least favorite Halloween candy?
But I'm just saying, when I was a kid, I hated those pixie sticks because they would get all broken in your bag. Remember pixie sticks?
Oh yeah, but they were pixie sticks were all sugar. The pixie sticks were all sugar.
But wasn't it sour? So I didn't like anything that was sour. What are those tarts? Those
sweet tarts.
I hated those.
That was a loser candy. Smarties were not good.
Yeah, those. Yes.
And I don't like licorice. I always bargain out.
I don't like black licorice as much as the red.
And then, where were you on candy corn? Circus peanuts.
Not a fan. I wanted the hardcore, Nestle's Crunches back then. I liked Nestle's, M&M's, peanut. I didn't like peanut and M&M's back then. Oh, yum!
We went on a Halloween walk with my kids.
You know what? I haven't even bought the candy yet because if I have that candy in this house, it's gone. I'm gonna buy it today.
What's with people buying candy in like late September or early October? Are they lying to themselves? There's no way if you buy any decent candy that it's going to be there on October 31st, unless you load up on Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, those are good too.
You'll eat those?
I would just pick through the Tootsie Rolls. I love the Tootsie Rolls.
Wow, then we should have traded Halloween candy because Tootsie Rolls were on the definitely low end. Bit of honey was always on the low end.
Yeah, I like bit of honey too, but anything that will break my teeth.
Milk duds. How about those?
Those are great too.
Yes.
I have a story. I had a milk dud and I took a bite out of it. And I'm like, gosh, I didn't know milk duds had nuts in them. So I pulled it out of my mouth and I threw it in the trash. Later on that day, I noticed a tooth was missing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was losing one of the molars in the back. It pulled it right out. I go back to the trash can. There was the piece of candy in the tooth. And of course, I had to wash it off and get my tooth fairy candy.
Yeah, that's
money.
Valuable, valuable tender there. You don't want to lose that. But
no.
Wow. Okay, so now I wanted to know, what's a costume that you are tired of seeing people wearing?
Ooh, that was a hard one for me. Tired, because I think I don't like when people are cowboys. I mean, but you might love being a cowboy. So it's hard for me. That was a hard question out of all of those. That's a hard one for me to.
Really? Well, I didn't mean to stress you out over it.
No, you didn't. But I'm working out and thinking all these things. I want to know what are you tired of seeing?
Well,
I love clowns because those are scary to me. Not fun.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
I mean, everyone's a vampire too, but it just depends who's in the vampire costume.
You know, that brings up an ancillary question. That brings up an ancillary question that I'll ask you right now. Who is the scariest clown of them all?
Ooh, that's a hard one because I don't know all their names. So.
But you just say what movie it was in.
Well, the creepy one from Rob Zombie's movies that's passed away. Do you know who that is?
Is that Captain Spaulding? Are you talking about?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
He's right there. That was my number one.
Yeah.
I'm still scared when I see.
Yeah, he's weird. It's just creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just more, only because he's more kind of humanish. You know what I mean?
But wearing super serious, but wearing this ridiculous clown outfit. Yeah. I imagine he was like what John Wayne Gacy must have been like to hang out with.
Oh God, yes. Ooh,
yeah.
Even scarier.
Yeah, I mean, that's the scariest clown of all time, but that's for real.
Yeah.
I was thinking movie wise. I mean, so many of them, and there's the Terrifier that's now come out that everyone's, the movie The Terrifier, and Smile has a
Oh
clown
yeah,
in it.
Smile. Oh gosh,
Yeah, and then
those are
there's the
freaky.
clown from Poltergeist with the clown doll that the kid has in the bedroom.
You're gonna make me want to rewatch that with which we can right now because everything is repeating and
Sure, but yeah,
it's the season.
and then of course there's Pennywise, and there's the killer clowns from
The
outer
Killer
space.
Clowns from Outer Space. I like them too. What are their names? See, I didn't know.
Oh, they had a dozen of different clowns.
Exactly, and those
Yeah,
were
that's
those are pretty weird.
that's a great one.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me, do you have a favorite foreign horror movie?
I think it's from Germany. I was thinking Nosferatu. That's
Nosferatu.
German.
Yeah,
That's foreign.
the original one.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
The original.
Did you know the
Yeah.
story behind
Did
Nosferatu?
you know?
Oh,
I just thought it was creepy and he looked different than any of the other vampires. So as a kid, I'm watching these black and white movies in my room. Not always they were black and white. I think the TV was black and white. Sorry.
no,
I
oh,
think I had a
everything
black
was in
and white
black and white.
TV. Right. So, but anyway, watching some of the later Bela Lugosi stuff, and I just know
was
that
a Christopher Lee.
Nosferatu was scarier with his ears all pointed up. It's a silent one, and what you don't hear is different than what you see. So
Got that creepy organ going, during the whole time.
I love it.
Yeah, the one that I saw, that has that creepy organ going in the background, and everything's dark and shadowy and
Yes.
rainy, and that does bring the mood of fear much higher to you, when
I
you
agree.
see.
Hey, did you know that they're redoing that movie? And
Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't.
I know they shouldn't, but what I saw of it in the preview, I'm like, no way. And it looked good. So I have to go see it, and then we'll have another one of these, and we'll talk about it.
Of course. Jeannie, I could have you on like every show. If I could, I would have you on every show talking horror stuff because.
Oh yeah, so we'll have to watch that. I know you say they shouldn't. That's a good question. Which one should they not make? Didn't we have? I'm not sure if we have.
No, we've never talked about that. We've never.
So maybe that one.
Sure. Yeah. Is there a horror movie you feel is so perfect that there's no way you could remake it or make a sequel to or anything like that? Is there a movie that? But I want to get back to the foreign stuff because I have a couple others I wanted to.
Yeah, you tell me. I like Nosferatu. You tell me your foreign ones.
Well, first of all, one of my all-time favorite movies, just of any type, of any monster or none, is Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's foreign. It's not.
It is. Is it Irish, Ireland?
It's British. It's one of the most British
right.
things you can ever watch, I think.
Yeah,
and
British.
That's why
right.
I like it so much. What I love is what the double bill of when you watch Shaun of the Dead and then you watch Zombieland.
Yeah, Zombieland. That's with
Woody Harrelson.
Woody, yeah, with Woody, yeah.
And it's also got a cameo by Bill Murray, who pretends to be a zombie and then gets shot.
That's right.
Because he's pretending to be a zombie, and he was like saying, "Yeah, I just hang out with them. I just put all the makeup on and I just hang out with them."
Right.
And you see Shaun of the Dead is like the most.
About that.
Shaun of the Dead is like the most British version of how the British would deal with a zombie invasion, and Zombieland is the most American thing of like how we would deal with zombies.
Exactly.
And you compare the two with each other.
Oh yeah, that's a good. And yeah.
Have you ever seen Let the Right One In?
No, what is that?
That's a Swedish vampire movie.
Ooh, maybe I have seen it, but I don't know the name of it. Black and white. What year do you?
No, it's from the early 2000s. And
really,
it's about a boy and a girl, and the girl is a vampire, and the girl obviously has been around for hundreds of years, right?
Yes, obviously.
She got stuck in vampire form as a little girl.
Oh.
And so this boy befriends her and like doesn't realize that she's like hundreds of years old and a vampire. But he's like a loner kid and he has no other friends. So she becomes his only
best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to see that. Let the right one in.
And it's always snowing and it's always dark and it gives an amazing, it's slow. It's not one of those, you know, everyone gets bitten kind of thing. It's a plotting, you know, kind of like mystery-ish kind of thing, but it's very well made. Very well.
I love it. I want to see that. Now, is the one, sorry.
They tried to remake it and it didn't, they tried to make it in America, an American version of it, and it totally failed. You have to see the Swedish version.
I will see the Swedish version. Going back to what we just said, the foreign is there a foreign one? Roman Polanski, the double something with his wife, with what's her name, Sharon Tate. Do you know what that one is?
Not the Devil's Rejects, because that's the
no, that's Rob
with Captain Spaulding on the brain.
No, Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate. I think it's the first movie she did with him, and they're in like it's wild. It's
wow.
So we'll look that one up. We'll talk about that one.
Very good. Very good. And also, you know, there's all the Godzilla movies. Those are
those are all great.
The kaiju stuff is always.
But they're not scary to me. Those ones are just more campy.
When I was a little kid, though, like Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
Oh my gosh.
First came out on TV, and like this was like 1978 or something, and like everyone was like watching it that night, and like the next day at school, you know, grade school, we were all just like talking about the fight between Godzilla and the Smog Monster. Everybody like, it was such a big deal, like the fact that, you know, Godzilla like took on the Smog Monster and beat him.
That's so cool.
Back then, when you're that young, you were that, you know, especially before CGI, you know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Big rubber monsters still meant something to us.
They did. I agree.
Did you watch a lot of horror stuff when you were like horror shows, like the actual horror, like the TV shows that they had?
Well, like let me think. Dark Shadows. Remember that I made my best friend across the street, the boy Chucky. I go, we're gonna watch Dark Shadows. We have the day off or whatever. We're in elementary school, and I turned it on in their house, and I coiled him and made him watch. I go, he was so scared.
And how the theme was very creepy to Dark Shadows.
We didn't, I don't remember, you know, but I knew he didn't like. Oh my gosh, see, you're bringing up things that are way back in my mind. I haven't talked about that for a long time, but today it's funny, but I did. I held him. I probably put him in a scissors hole, not even knowing what a scissors hole was.
Just the natural wrestling.
And a Bull Nelson, you know? Oh, you're going to watch this.
Wrestling instinct.
Oh, right. So bad.
No, but I was thinking about like things like Creature Features. Did you ever watch?
Yeah, I remember those. Oh, yes.
So, like, who was your favorite horror show host?
You know what? All I remember back then is Elvira. I don't know who was before her. I know there had to be someone before her, but I just don't remember. Do you?
It was Vampirella. That was the lady.
I don't remember.
So that's going back to the 60s. That's going back.
Yeah, I just might have been Vampirella. See, I was wondering where that character came from. I had no idea.
But I can see that Elvira had an influence on you.
Oh yeah.
Especially your sense of humor. You know?
Yeah. Yes, and I love her sense of humor.
Spooky girls with a sense of humor are just you could just basically write yourself a blank check to go anywhere you want, because I think every guy in the world is enchanted by spooky ladies with a sense of humor. I
love that. I think
that's the best combination. I'm telling you, that's the best combination. I
like that.
I was a big fan of Creature Features in San Francisco, and we had a host, Bob Wilkins.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember him.
I don't know unless I saw his face.
Yeah. He used to smoke a big cigar during the show, You know, back when nobody cared that you could smoke.
Yeah,
in
you could
the studio
smoke anywhere in the hospital. Do you ever see those old movies?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
smoking in a hospital.
Yes. I mean, I tell my kids that, and they're like, what? I said, yeah, you used to be able to smoke on planes, too. She's
Hey,
like,
did I just, am I frozen?
uh-oh. Yeah, you are frozen for a second there. Why don't you, oh, now
Oh,
I
the
see your
other
cat.
way. Well, we
Your
can see kitty
cat.
cat and the light.
Oops.
There.
There you go. That was strange.
Okay.
I don't know what, blame
Yeah, that is
Skype for that,
strange.
but
But
you're
I'm glad
back.
I'm looking now. That's good. All right.
Yes.
So did the Creature Features, did that have two movies
Yes.
sometimes?
Yes. Well, no, they had a second host, Paul Stanley, who came in after Bob Wilkins died. And Paul Stanley actually met.
Obviously, he would have been too young.
Yeah, no, I met Paul Stanley once at a comic book convention. Nice guy. And then there was Sven Gulli. Do you remember Sven?
I like Sven Gulli, yes.
He's great.
Me and him are friends on Facebook too, so he's great. I want to see him at a convention, and he loves wrestling. You know that.
No, I didn't know.
He does. Oh my gosh, he's a huge wrestling fan.
You know what? Maybe I'll reach out and see if I can get him on the show.
I think you should. Yeah, you should. He's a nice guy.
I would love to have
We've never met him and I, but and I always I'm posting for him on Saturday nights when he is hosting Sven Gulli.
Nice.
Every Saturday. Yeah.
That is really wonderful. That is really wonderful. So tell me your favorite crazed killer robot movie.
So the first one that comes to mind always is the older one first. Now, we all know what the main one's going to be, but the older one when I was growing up to me was Westworld. My uncle took me, and again, that's robots, and they were creepy, you know, and then later on was Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator. So those two for me will be the ones that I would hold dearest to my heart.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
you remember Gigantor, the robot Gigantor?
Yes.
Remember that? And he had
had the missiles in his fingers. Yeah, the missiles.
Yeah, missiles.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love that a lot.
How about you?
Did you ever see The Black Hole?
No, I did not.
It's an old Disney movie, but it's surprisingly dark for a Disney movie, and it's got this robot called Maximilian in it, who has these spinning blades that come out of like his chest.
Cool.
That are like Law Machine. They'll cut anybody else.
I know what you're talking about.
That was a really awesome robot when I was a kid. Then of course, you know, you have things like Colossus the Forbin Project. That was the two computers of early when a Russian computer and an American computer decided to just take over the world with the atomic by taking over the weaponry and just saying,
wow, you know, that's a trip right there.
Yeah, it was way before like anything.
Totally, like wow.
And then, have you ever seen A Boy and His Dog?
See, now is that too? No.
I'm sorry, you cut off for.
Is that a Disney one?
Oh no.
Okay.
That's Don Johnson's very first movie. And it's a post-apocalyptic movie. And this guy goes underground and he finds this shelter that goes underground. And there's this whole fake America that's underground because it's an Australian movie.
Okay.
But Australians like saying this is what they think Americans would do if they ever had their own. And it actually is a quote unquote a vault like the ones they have in the video game Fallout. It was sort of the prototype of the vault. They have this giant painted up like clown dude named Carl who goes and kills anyone that like acts out and is anyone that's annoying gets killed immediately by Carl. You find out as a robot. And they have my favorite line of the entire movie. I hate to spoil this, but it's still worth seeing. It's still worth seeing. Is Jason Robards is in it. He's the only big actor other than Don Johnson. He says when the Carl gets destroyed, Jason Robards says, "Get another Carl out of the warehouse, and this time wipe the goddamn smile off of his face." because he had like this big clown.
Yeah, that smile. Yeah.
Yes. So Carl the robot is one that you might want to check out one of these
So
days.
it's a boy and his dog.
Yes, and
Okay.
it is very R rated. So
Okay.
keep
That's
that.
all right.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
not for the kiddies, but
No, not for the kiddies. More
Yes.
for the adults.
Who is your favorite mad scientist?
Ooh, mad scientist. Brown is always good from
From Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, duh. Gene Wilder. Gosh, when he's in Young Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Stein.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. That's a good one. How about you?
Well, let's see. Mad scientist wise, a little side note is I used to, when I was in San Diego, my good friend Lee, who passed a number of years ago, we used to do a mad scientist party. And we found an abandoned house underneath a freeway in San Diego. Now, this is the kind of thing that I can talk about now because the statute of limitations has run out. But we found an abandoned house. We to tell everyone where it was underneath a freeway. My friend, I swear to God, made a dummy, right? And we hung the dummy off of the freeway, and that underneath the dummy was where the house was. People were calling the police and saying somebody has hung themselves off of the freeway.
Oh my God.
We had 400 people at that party. 400 people at that party, and the house was destroyed to the studs. People just because it was already, the house was already like taken over by vagrants for a while. So like, the partiers and my friend worked at the lab, so he got himself like a gallon of methanol, of ethyl, of grain alcohol. Pure alcohol. So he's pouring it into these trash cans full of punch, and it was just the mad. And then he put dry ice in the barrels, and he was serving it as a mad scientist. He had the crazy hair wig and the lab coat.
Now, let me ask you this: if it's an abandoned house, there's probably no electricity, right?
None.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
Yeah, it was.
What if there were real killers in there?
They would have been partying with
you guys.
They would have been partying with us. We would have gotten them drunk and we would have partied with them. So
they probably were in there.
Yeah, I don't know. 400 people.
400 people, you don't know.
They just blended in. So that was that. It's the kind of thing that you say to yourself, how did I ever pull that off?
How did we get away with that?
Yes, but we got away with it.
That's pretty cool.
What do you think is the craziest, scariest torture scheme in a movie?
See, now I thought about that, and there's a lot of them. I always hate the teeth and the drilling under the nails, but I saw something that was interesting. They were pouring in hot liquid into your mouth, metal, gold.
That's how they used to kill people in Rome.
Like that, holding your mouth open, and they're pouring in. That to me is watching this hot stuff go down. I can't even imagine.
Oof, yeah.
Hot metal. It's pretty disgusting, isn't it?
Well, that's how they killed, I think, some king in Rome. That was obsessed with gold, and when they finally, got him and revolted against him, they poured molten gold down his throat. So it's not an original torture, but it's been done. But it's pretty brutal. Sure. Do you remember the Pit and the Pendulum?
That sounds familiar. What year? 60s, 70s?
Yeah, it's from the 60s. And Vincent Price, and it has that pendulum with the big swinging knife.
It's swinging, yes.
It just gets lower and lower each time.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to like slash your stomach right up.
Yes.
That one gives me nightmares. And I've never liked the being buried alive stuff.
See, me too. I am not a fan of suffocating. Yeah, being underground and there people get buried alive and they're throwing dirt on top of it. No.
Yeah. Have you seen? There's that movie where that guy is in that coffin Or there's that
Yes.
one movie where the whole movie he's inside, but
Ugh.
he's he has to cut off his finger and stuff like that to prove that he's like they have his son hostage or something like that. He has
Right.
to, yeah. Oh man, that one
That,
was.
I don't like any of that. I think there was another one. It was that serpent and the rainbow. Remember the
Yeah.
serpent and the rainbow? A zombie, not zombies. Which was it more? What is it? Voodoo stuff. That was more voodoo, and they had somebody in a coffin that they buried.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I don't like that either. Not a fan.
With you on that. So, in fact, that brings up a good question. Who's your favorite witch?
That's a good one too. A witch. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go back as a kid.
Sure.
I'm trying to.
You're supposed to go back.
It's popping up at the moment is Witchy Poo.
Ha! That was going to be mine. That was actually.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to go back when we're just growing up, Witchy Poo, she was weird, but witch. But there's more. Oh, it's an old movie, but it's Kim Novak.
Nice.
Belle something and.
Oh, Bell's bed Bell's bed not.
The 3 words. It's 3.
Oh wait, the bell. It's I know which one you're talking about. It's like the bell, the candle, and
maybe
something
it's
else.
Cat Bell and something. Yeah.
Yes.
She's a witch. I don't know if she's a witch, but I don't know. I can't think. You tell me what.
Did you ever see The Witches with Angelica Houston?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Where they turn the kid into the mouse.
I remember that.
Yeah, I thought that was really.
Right about that one.
Well, that's why we do this show. It's
I know. That makes me. I'm going to go through the whole TV and my phone and start clicking away.
And I do like Bette Midler's role in where she's
in that one in the Witches, right?
Yes, the 3 witches.
Was it the what is it? The Witches of Eastwick? Was that?
Yeah, Witches of no, the Witches of Eastwick is the one with Jack Nicholson.
Well then we get to the
With
Shining,
Cher.
but
That's got Cher.
Yeah.
No, it's the other one. I keep forgetting. It's the one that's come out. Where she does. I put a spell on you. But the Bette Midler. I'm trying.
Okay.
That's the one. The Disney one that's come out recently.
Okay. Got it.
Blanking on the name of the.
Me too. Me too.
Now, what horror movie do you think they should remake, and what would you change about it?
Okay, I'm not quite sure of the title. Is it the head? It's not the head without a brain. It's the one where
the brain that would not die.
The brain that would not die. Thank you.
See, you're talking to the right person when you're like, if you don't remember a horror movie, throw it out there and just describe it. I'm like
exactly.
a living catalog of it.
The brain that would not die.
They could remake that. They could remake that.
They did it, but why don't they? It's one of my favorite. I remember seeing that as a kid. And of course, I would have to be the female lead in it if we're going to remake it.
Yes, absolutely.
My head here and in that bowl, whatever.
Yeah. Do you want to spend an entire movie just sitting there with your head locked under a table and
They probably do it a lot different now with CGI. We'd probably just be sitting like this,
Jeannie, with how magnificent you look over the years, to only have your face would be a crime against cinema.
You're just being too nice, but thank you for that comment.
Get someone who's only good with their face. You deserve.
Well, that wouldn't be me then.
Yes.
We better get some 20-year-old.
Yeah. And then that weird mutant they had in the closet.
Oh, that thing.
Yes. Thing that would not die.
Yes, he was in the closet trying to give her the key or something. Wasn't she trying to get the key from him?
Yes. And then finally
I think she got him back.
Yeah, she did. Well, her
boyfriend or husband or whatever he was.
Right. It was the husband couldn't let the lady die, so he keeps her head alive in a dish, and he's got other experiments. And one of them's this mutant guy that winds up, in the closet, but
In
she
the closet.
uses her psychic powers to control the mutant, and he tears off the guy's arm, and then the place burns down and all that stuff. That would be, considering the fact that we're, on what, like the 12th Saw movie or whatever. I mean, maybe do the brain that would not die, just for the fun of it.
For the fun of it, why not?
You can certainly.
And there's another one, those 3 girls, Kill, Pussy, something. What is that?
Oh, Kill, Pussycat, Kill?
I want them to redo that. Not that it's a horror movie. It's kind of like
it's like a psycho killer.
I like that one. That's what's his name? I'm trying to remember that director's name.
Roger Corman?
Nope. Another one. We'll look that one up. But the 3 girls, I'm like, okay, I can play one of those girls. They were dressed in stuff. They're dressed all.
I think it's.
I would play one of those, and then.
Kill. I think it's Faster Pussycat Kill.
Kill.
Yeah, I think
that is it.
Wow.
I would like to see that. Maybe it is Roger Corman, but I don't think so. He's the guy that I always want to associate Playboy. He had a lot of Playboy models, I think, in his pictures.
Was it Ed Wood, maybe?
No, not Ed Wood. I would know.
Yeah, he had a different style to it. He wasn't.
Oh, and I like his style, though, because it was cheesy, and you could see the strings where the bats were going, ding.
And yet, still, those are fun to watch, even with the.
They are fun to watch.
And, of course, if you
ever. One of his movies.
If you're like me and you watch Mystery Science Theater 3000, you get, I love those guys. And
that is so funny. I'm looking for what do you call it? Those are funny. Did I ever tell you that they talked about the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling one time on there?
Yes. I've seen them. They didn't mention Hollywood, though. I wish they had.
No, they did not. Russ Meyer, that's who it is. Russ Meyer.
Yes. Okay.
Cult favorite.
And what?
Sadistic go-go dancers. That's what they were. They were go-go dancers first.
You would have been perfect.
Those are the girls. Yes, as they break free from the nightclub. Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow. Yeah. No, I consider that.
That would be kind of cool.
The line between crazed psycho killers and horror is pretty thin, if at all, because I think a lot of people watch that stuff on Halloween too. So, in fact,
yes, it goes hand in hand. Come on.
I'm trying to think, what horror movie would I change if I had a chance to?
What would you
change? One thing is that when they always try to remake Frankenstein, they try to make him smart. They try to make him intellectual and all that. I'd like to go back to the original, really gothic look of Frankenstein. Yeah. And do you know that the original Frankenstein is 100 minutes long?
I think I do know that. I thought those were pretty not long at all.
No, they weren't long at all. I'd love to see a monster movie that just made its point, said what it had to say, and get the heck out. And leave everyone just going, okay, that was nice and scary, but you don't belabor the point. You don't need a deep, long, burgeoning scene of Frankenstein's deep inner feelings. No, don't do that. Just give us the monster. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's all we want. We want to see the monster.
We just
Isn't that terrible? Maybe that's why I'm a bad guy. I want to always see the bad guys win, not lose. Is that terrible?
No, I think there's a lot of us.
I've always, even as a kid, I didn't want to, I don't know why. And I do that in a lot of the movies that I watch. Why do I feel sympathy for the bad guy? Sympathy for the devil. I mean, that's, the Rolling Stones said it the best.
Perfect. Well, in fact, that's a perfect segue to this next question, which if you're the psycho killer in a movie, and you run into the group of teenager tropes. Yeah. So there's the cheerleader, the science nerd, the jock, the plain girl, the token minority, the goth girl. Which person do you kill first, and who do you kill last?
I guess I would go for the first kill. The one that I would like the least would be the cheerleader. Get rid of her right away. She's going to be a problem. So you have lots of energy. Go for the cheerleader. And then the last one would have to be, I almost said the nerd, but I think the jock because he's dumb anyway.
Really? The jock's the one I
jock
get rid of first. The jock's the one I get rid of first. I think
he's easy.
And
I might want to flirt with him. I might want to flirt with the jock because the jock is cute.
See, yeah, I would probably like the cheerleader last for the same reason.
See?
Same
Perfect. High five.
I think the plain girl too is the one that
the plain girl, yeah.
She usually in most monster movies, she usually winds up surviving. Now, if you're a psycho killer,
and fall.
Yes.
They're running. Oh, they
why?
fall. Oh, they gotta get back up.
Even when there's nothing around.
Oh, sorry. There was a butt dial from someone.
You're well in demand. Now, what if you were the psycho killer? What weapon would you use?
I would probably go back to the old slasher, a knife.
Really?
Oh yeah, there was just because the scene of that going. I mean, think of Psycho, right? I know that sounds horrible, but it takes longer. There's more camera time. There's more. I know it takes longer, but if you are a psycho killer, you're not just going to stab once. You're going to stab more.
Oh, of course.
Everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a movie with Elizabeth Taylor. And she goes into this house, and I guess her husband's having an affair with someone that she knows, and they're trying to freak her out like there's people in this house across the way. And when she went in there, she took the knife from the kitchen. You didn't see her take the knife from the kitchen, but you look as the other woman is going into the house. They pan past all the knives.
One of them's missing.
The middle knife is missing, which I love. So you know that Elizabeth Taylor took it, and she's slashing them in the arm, in the back, and it's just brutal. But I want a knife. How about you?
Wow. Well, when I was in high school, we were in video class, and we made our own parody videos. And the video that we made was the Texas Weed Eater Massacre, where the guy he had a weed whacker, and he would go and.
That's great! Oh my gosh.
Yes. So we'd kill people with a weed eater, and that would take a long time.
That's very funny.
Yes. So now, if you were Psycho, what song would be playing through your head at the time that you would be going nuts?
There's a lot of those. Okay. There are so many songs. There's Angry Again. That's Metallica. All right. There is Freak on a Leash, which is 9 Inch Nails. It's scary. And by Korn. I'm sorry. Freak on the Leash is Korn. And then there's Head Like a Hole.
Head Like a Hole was
9 Inch Nails.
Yes. Now you see, I go the opposite.
And then of course there's always the Black Sabbath and the Ozzy Osbourne. So I love that genre, right now. So that's why I'm picking those songs, but those songs are perfect for that stuff. I mean, remember in the 80s when they thought that heavy metal was killing the kids. Remember to have suicide thoughts.
Yep, we're proof of it. You listen to heavy metal and you become just a complete degenerate loser with nothing to give to society, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Somehow that didn't quite pan out. And Dungeons and Dragons, remember, was supposed to, align you with the devil. And video games were supposed to make you psychotic, crazy, nutso killer, on the loose. Ask my kids.
And playing the Beatles backwards. Beatles
absolutely. Now, for me, I go the opposite way. Okay. Instead of something you see, for me, I would have something like the Baby Elephant March, like going through my head.
I like that.
Yes, I would have. Have you ever seen Halloween 3? The and they have the dun 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 dun. Hurry up, it's Halloween. Yes. Hurry up, it's Halloween. Silver Shamrock. That would be going through my, especially the little part where they go.
Very psychotic. Mine's angry stuff.
Yes.
And yours is more the whole 360, 180 opposite.
That would really be what would make my brain just snap completely.
You know what? I love it. Beethoven.
Something with an Elfman type, Danny Elfman.
I love that. That's very cool.
Yeah, I think that would make me go. That would just continually repeat in my head while I'm taking my weed eater and massacring somebody. But what do you think is your favorite scary animated movie or series?
Scary animated movie. So there's a couple that come to mind. So I'm going to start. It wasn't the scariest, but growing up as a kid, remember Claymation, Mad Monster Party?
Oh yeah, that's great. That's an awesome movie.
I love that. I never see
Rankin
it on TV anymore, so I had to buy the DVD. It's the
same people that did the Rankin Bass, the same people that do Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Same people?
They did the same animators did Mad Monster Party.
I'm curious why they don't show it. I mean,
it's so hard to find. It's so hard to find. I actually was able
I bought the DVD so I could watch it.
Right. I've seen it.
Now that's a good Mad Scientist. The Mad Scientist is Boris Karloff.
Yes.
I think. Right?
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call on that one.
And what's her name with the hair?
Ethel Merman?
No, close. White hair. Phyllis Diller. Phyllis Diller.
Phyllis Diller, yes.
Yeah.
So, but anything else other than?
So I like The Nightmare Before Christmas because I'm looking at something. I'm trying to remember all the animated stuff, but there's the first animated one that's very old, and I see it every once in a while, and it's that 1929 by Walt Disney. The skeletons are dancing.
That's that's Max Fleischer. It's not Walt Disney.
Okay.
Max Fleischer, the guy who did the Popeye cartoons.
There you go. It's just different.
And it's like silly.
It's more sillier than scary.
Yes, it's like silly spooks or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd say it's by Max Fleischer, the guy. Betty Boop. It's the same animator of did Popeye and Betty.
Well, that ruined it. Betty Boop just ruined it all now.
I'm surprised you weren't hurt for Halloween every once in a while.
That's cute.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't.
My mother is a super fan of Betty Boop.
Wow, that's great. I mean, she was pretty risque for her time.
I know that.
And actually, when you watch it now, there's a lot of like innuendo that that they couldn't actually go right out and say from that time frame. But now you watch it, you're like, oh wow, well, they're hinting at certain things that
They are, and you know what? You just remind me of another one. It just depends how you look at it. This really is supposed to be for kids, but Gumby and Pokey. Look at some of those things. They're going through the books and all the colors coming through. I mean, it's real.
Very psychedelic.
I'm thinking, very psychedelic, exactly. I'm thinking, were those people on LSD? What drugs were they on?
There's actually a hour-long, like, psycho LSD trip made by Art Clokey. Right. It's called, it's like, not Miranda.
We can look for that though.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just all these like, it's not Gumby. It's just these clay shapes that are all very raw psychedelic, and there's really weird music going on.
I just like to check it out just to be aware.
It's so weird. It's Art Clokey was the guy who did.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Gumby.
Clokey. Yeah.
And it's an Indian name. It's like it's not Karma. It's like Mandala. I think it's Mandala is the name of it. And it is it's not scary, but you watch it and you'll go, wow, that was weird. It's probably one of the weirdest movies. It's one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen, and I know weird. So
perfect.
I will say that one. All right, and then let's wrap it up. We only have a minute or two.
Perfect.
I just wanted to know, tell me something, a hidden horror, something that you saw that was scary and you don't think that most people know about it.
Okay, so that to me, I had to think about it for a little bit. And so some people probably do know about it, but I didn't know about it till probably a year ago. It's that haunted house where you have to sign a 40-page waiver to go in it. the McCamey Manor or something, McCamey.
Yes,
You know
I
what I'm
heard
talking
about that too.
about?
The guy got moved out of every neighborhood he's been in.
Chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But they actually have that tour, that kind of tour. 40-page waiver. You have to do a physical. And then, yeah, that I couldn't do because if they do anything where I have to be underwater or,
They have like rats
buried
crawl
alive.
over you. They have rats crawl all over you and snakes and stuff.
Snakes.
Yeah. And and they smear poo on you and stuff like that. Ooh, just yeah.
And don't they give you a certain amount of money? Don't they give you $1 million if you pass it?
No one's gone through. No one's been able to.
No.
So that tells
everyone has their breaking point.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a thing called analog horror?
No.
That's kind of a specialty of things on. Go onto YouTube if you dare, and type in analog horror. And what it is it's people make these movies, these small like segmented movies. Maybe they're 5 minutes, maybe they're 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They make it look like it was on an old videotape.
Oh, cool.
So they've got like they use Photoshop and Adobe Effects to make it look like it's done on an old videotape, and there are like a series of different things that like one of them is like Gemini Labs, and Gemini Labs is like a code name for like this experiment that they're doing on people, and it turns out that there's like, well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's like what you think is like a normal TV program. It'll be like people going on tour. Like there's a thing that will say, hey, welcome to this cabin and glad that you're here. And, it's like a welcome video, right? Yeah. But they'll say, just make sure you don't go anywhere outside after 11 p.m. past this one area. And then, of course, then there's like video of like the person, like first person, like kind of like the Blair Witch Project, where they're walking through and they like go past that one area.
Yes.
What do they find?
Yes. That's like the one with Joaquin Phoenix and Ronnie Howard's daughter when she's blind, and they're Amish. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
It's a M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, The Village.
That's it, The Village.
Yeah, The Village. But the ending stunk. The like everything that is M. Night Shyamalan, it's got a great buildup, and then the ending is like something that you're like, what? That's your ending on it?
Yeah.
No. He always pisses me off.
What is that? Yeah.
He pisses me off. I mean, I like his atmosphere and his ability to build something, but then the conclusion is like a 50-cent thing that he came up with. Just like it's like one of those things like, oh, I gotta end the movie now. So
I gotta go. Yeah. Bye everybody. Yeah.
Bye everyone. See you in a couple of years when I make another one.
That's it. You're right.
Oh, Jeannie, I couldn't have had more fun in the hour spent. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out. I know you're so busy, but please.
Thanks, Russell. No, this was fun. What I said, I go, this is going to be fun.
Please plug your soaps. Please take a moment.
Yeah. So now that we're all so scary and dirty here, we could clean ourselves with Hollywood's soap. NashvilleBotanica.com, you guys. There's an Instagram page. All my soap is no preservatives in it, so it's made with really good stuff. I'll just say that. And if you're interested in any of that, there's an Etsy store and there's a website, NashvilleBotanica.com. And if you're interested in following me at Instagram, Official Hollywood, there you have it.
You're the professional in every sense of the word. One of these days, I'm going to make it up.
And the memoir, my memoir.
Oh, yeah, please.
It is called, and that's what I've been working on, all those calls. It is Hooray for Hollywood, the true story of the original Glow Girl.
I want to get a copy of that because
I can't. I'm so excited about it. And it's taken me a very long time, but I want to do it right and make sure that it's what I need it to be.
I'm sure it's
almost done. We'll have it before Christmas. It'll be there before Christmas. I am working very hard this week to finish everything up.
When you,
Then I'll go
when
to
you
camp.
have it out, we'll have you back on again. Certainly, we'll have you
Yeah.
on back again next year for Halloween, and hopefully, our friend Casey and Kat are feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah, I give them a big hug and thoughts and prayers for Casey.
They were really looking forward to seeing you too, but
Yeah, no worries. You take care of you first, always.
we understand. You're so sweet. You're so wonderful. I have nothing but to say that you're everything that I was hoping for this session. And next year I'll come up with even more crazy and nutty
Oh, I
questions.
can't wait. That'll be great.
Anyway, thank you so
I'm
much
in.
for being here.
I'm in for sure.
And one of these days I'll make my way over to Memphis and see and party with you.
Nashville.
I'm sorry, to Nashville. Make it over to I'll make it over to Tennessee, and I'll get to party with you guys.
And then maybe sometime I'll be up in your area. I haven't been.
But anytime you're in San Francisco,
I will.
Love to see
Oh,
you.
that sounds wonderful.
Take care. Have a great holiday
All right,
season.
you take care, and don't forget, everybody, be kind. That's important.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Good night,
have a great
everyone.
day.
See you next week.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.